Hello, friends, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to share with you another design team project for Country Craft Creations. And this one, I'm going to be making a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout using the Prima's Fruit Paradise collection. And I started off with just grabbing one of my chipboard pieces, and that's kind of my color palette right there. And I grabbed some white 12 by 12 paper from my stash, and this kind of peachy color, and then I ran it through my sewing machine with some gold thread around the outside, and it was kind of giving me troubles. The thread kept breaking, so it's not the best, but I don't mind it being all kind of scraggly looking because I think it just goes with all my ripped paper and all my little accents. So I'm going to start off by using some of this texture paste. It's opaque matte, and this is a Ranger texture paste, and one of my stencils, and this one kind of has like little stars all over it, and I just wanted to give my background just a little bit of texture. Wanted to give it a little more interest, even though most of it's going to get covered by all of my goodies that are going to go on top. I still kind of wanted to just kind of make that background a little more interesting. So I'm just going to spread the stuff on, and one thing about the texture paste is that it dries really fast. So even though I'm only going to make you sit through one of these, just to kind of show you how it looks when I get started, it does not take long at all for that to dry. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to use some Perfect Pearls in gold, and I'm just going to sprinkle that around to kind of bring some more of that gold in, and then just a little bit of this green because it ended up being a little bit brighter than I expected, and it's the shimmer powder, and it's called Falling Leaves. And I'm also using some of the Black Soot Distressed ink just to kind of bring, since that green was so bright, I wanted to bring a little bit of darker color into that. I made this cherry blossom branch, not my best work, but it'll work for this. And what my idea was here is that my granddaughter was here visiting, and we took her up to pick some fruit, and we did some cherry picking. So I thought this would be perfect. Took a picture of her picking some cherries, and this is a 4x6 stamp sheet that came with my design team package, which matches the collection, and I was just using that as a reference for the photo because I hadn't printed the photo yet when I actually made the layout, so I wanted to make sure that my background piece was the right color. And then these are just some pages from the paper pack, and I just cut them down into some various sizes. Now I'm just kind of trying to figure out where I'm going to lay everything out. So I know that I want to do like a bunch of flowers and some leaves and stuff around the outside, and I also want a lot of layers here. I want a lot of organic type layers, so I did the burlap in the back, a couple of different pages from the paper pack, and then I'm just going to kind of start layering them on top of each other. I also grabbed some more of that corrugated it's not chipboard, it's corrugated cardstock, and I kind of ripped some of the edges off of that as well. And I'm just figuring out where I'm going to place everything before I start putting some stuff down. These are wood pieces that I got from my local craft store, and I just painted them white and then distressed them with some of the distress ink in, I think I used Vintage Photo to distress that. And then I'm just gluing all this down to hold it in place, and I'm gluing it down using my art glitter glue. And now for these are just some picks from my craft store. I just cut off what I wanted, and I'm laying them down because I wanted some greenery here. So I'm just using my glue gun to glue down all the greenery, and all this stuff is going to have other things kind of piled on top. And you can see my mess all around. And this is just my ideas for different things that I'm going to try to place on some of them I'll keep, some of them I won't. But I knew I wanted some greenery because this is supposed to be a very summery layout. And I really needed a nice place to stick my tree branch here, my little cherry tree branch. So I'm going to kind of stuff that in at the bottom. Glue gun works really well. I also use kind of a mixture of some of those sticky dots as well because I want to make sure certain things I did not want to fall off. And sometimes the glue gun doesn't always hold very well, but with my layouts, because they're so thick, I put them in frames and I put them on the wall. So even if it wasn't the best hold, it's not going anywhere because the glass inside the frame is going to hold everything right where I want it. And I have layouts that I did years ago that are still exactly in the same position that they were in when I first started. So here, These are not, I didn't have very many of the flowers left from the fruit collection, and I needed them for my next project, so I kind of started grabbing flowers from my stash because I have a ton of flowers in my stash from various companies. I honestly don't remember where this came from because I have a box of them in a drawer, and I just grabbed ones that I thought would look nice with this particular collection. And then that little one is one from the Fruit Paradise collection right there. And I'm just kind of stuffing things in where I think they would look good. Just a couple of little paper leaves that I had in my stash, just to kind of give it a little more dimension, a little more interest. I also have that memories and another one of those little white clips, and those little white clips are actually I took them off of. If you see this little white rose right here, that's a metal rose. And I thought I was going to use it, but I didn't. But the clip actually came from that metal rose. I just detached them from each other so I could use the clip to hold the memories, which is also, that memories is made out of chipboard. And then these are some craft picks that I have sitting. I have a whole jar full of different picks and leaves and stuff that I can grab from when I'm doing my layouts. And I just cut off pieces. And this is me just figuring out where I'm going to stuff all of my little pieces that I cut off of the pick. And then there's like these, I wanted them to be twirled, so I just I used a stick just to kind of twirl those up just so that they weren't just straight sticking out. I don't know how to explain it. It's just my silly creative process. And then I'm going to use a sticky dot, a couple of them, to hold down my little metal clip that says memories. And then I wanted to use some of the cut aparts, and I wasn't sure which one I wanted. And since I was going to use my cherry pickin', I decided to use the cherry one. So I just kind of stuck that in there. And then I have some enamel dots. Oh, that's also a chipboard cherry, which I just kind of stuffed in there because when I put the picture in, I take the backing off and then stick it where the picture is. And now I'm just using some enamel dots from my stash. These are all just different ones that I have sitting in a box, and picked some colors that I thought would look nice, and then some drops that kind of look like water droplets. And I'm just kind of randomly placing those around, give it a little more texture, little more interest. And that's pretty much it, guys. This is my layout, and it was pretty fast, went together pretty quickly, and I just need to add my photo, which I did. You saw that at the beginning, and I'll show you again at the end. And yeah, so I just want to say thanks so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I have one more project coming using the Prima collection, and then we'll be off to be using some new stuff. And anyways, like I said, thanks so much for stopping by. I will leave links in the description below to the Country Craft Creations shop where you can pick up all these goodies. And yeah, so have a great week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.